Welcome to an episode of r/slash malicious compliance, where we share stories of people conforming to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. Sit back and enjoy these stories, and at the end of this video, make sure to like and comment, and definitely subscribe if you have not already done so. Enjoy. And this story is posted by u/thorn pudding. Don't want to spell correctly my name? Okay, I'll stop paying taxes. So, this one dates back from years ago when you would fill your income tax manually, like with a pen on a form. In those days in my country, we didn't have a withholding tax system, but you would pay in year, say 2007, the taxes on your income of year 2006. Of course, the form would come by mail pre-filled with name and details, and also some quite accurate amounts, because the state knows already pretty well how much you make. My family name is a bit complex, being multi-part and with unusual letter clusters in the middle. Mistakes are understandable, but you would expect the Revenue Service to be exact on that matter. Unfortunately, they weren't. They kept misspelling it every year on the form, and on all the subsequent forms, tax statement, tax returns, etc., they would mail me, despite my correcting it manually every year on my income statement, in black, then in red, then the following year with neon red Sharpies, then 1 year later added a sticky note, then adding a whole letter, then adding a letter and copies of my ID as proof, etc. But they weren't budging. It was quite irritating because the tax statement had to be shown on several occasions when you interact with the state administration or justice. Everybody would notice the discrepancy. Everyone was understanding that it was obviously a mistake from the Revenue Service, but it was still annoying on so many levels, the most basic of which being a matter of respect for my identity. After 10 or 12 years of them not taking notice of my notes and corrections, upon receiving a payment notice misspelled, I went in person to my local Revenue Service office and asked to speak with someone about that issue. I made it very clear to the clerk that they were wrong. He was adamant that they were correct, like I wouldn't know my own name, and added, for good measure, that he couldn't change my name in their systems because he didn't have access to that, blah, blah. I was having none of it. So, cue malicious compliance. Me. So, you said you were positively, absolutely right about my name spelling. Clerk. Me. I shall therefore stop paying my taxes. I am not the person on your forms, and there's no way you can come to me asking for that tax money since the person on your forms doesn't live at that address, and in fact does not exist. Clerk. Mouth is gaping, eyes are so wide open they're going to pop out. Me. But in case you need that tax money, you know how to write my actual name. And I left with the smirk. I actually did not pay that tax installment. In those days, you paid your taxes in 3 installments over the year. 2 weeks later, I got a reminder letter without the 10% penalty normally owed for late payment and with my name correctly spelled. Shouldn't have wasted so many Sharpies over the years. And this story is posted by u/tiny_alien. Be careful what you wish for. Never thought I'd post another story on here, lol. Anyway, here's some background notes. Mobile. I usually work out and practice soccer in a sports bra and shorts. It's usually when I'm in my house or backyard and sometimes when I go on runs. I'm not super well endowed up top, 32C, but there's still a decent amount, but I'm pretty well endowed in the bottom, lol. I live in Pennsylvania. I'm a very shy and timid person, so my dialogue did not come out as smoothly as it looks, but I find writing how I sounded annoying, lol. Anyway, for some reason, lots of my neighbors are moving to one of the Carolinas, north or south, and just so happens my next door neighbor is as well. Now, this man has always rubbed me the wrong way. He's old, and he used to watch me and my friends swim in my pool from his balcony. Anyway, I was in my usual workout attire practicing soccer in my backyard with my headphones in. He had approximately 5 people over helping him move, including one older woman who we'll lovingly call Susan. I've never met this woman before, and it took me a few minutes to notice her standing at the fence in between our yards waving me down. I stop my music and walk over to her. Susan, you need to change. Me, what? Susan, you can't wear a bra outside. That's indecent. Me, but I'm in my own backyard, minding my own business. I'm not doing anything. My bra covers everything and isn't sheer or lace. Susan, that's not appropriate. Go change. Everything's hanging out. Now, I've always hated the notion that somehow sports bras are different from bikinis, and I was beyond excited to finally get a chance to dish out some compliance. Me, Sorry, of course I'll change. I go inside and get a bathing suit for my room. Now this suit is a red two-piece. The top only has 2 triangles of cloth that do cover my boobs, and the rest is the usual string used to keep it on, and the bottom are a really cheeky pair. I wore this to the beach when New Jersey was open and got no flack for it, and even saw people wearing less, so I knew it was no big deal. I put my cleats on and headed back outside and started practicing. She walked back over about to blow a fuse. Susan, what are you wearing? Me, a bathing suit. It's not inappropriate. I wore it to the beach and I didn't get yelled at. Actually, people wore less. Susan ended up giving up and letting me, and I changed back into my sports bra and shorts and finished my workout. One day, I'll give you guys a more exciting one when it happens. And this story is posted by u/BeTheLicker. Customer takes manager's advice. A few years ago, I worked at a sporting goods store that sells firearms. Some customers will buy online and have those items shipped to the store and then come in for the background check and pick them up. A customer comes up to the gun counter and says he has an order for pickup. I check the safe and find the guy's firearm and unbox for his inspection to ensure this is what he ordered and it is in good condition, as there are no returns on firearms once they are purchased. This order was for a very nice and expensive Browning Citori over and under 28 gauge shotgun. Of course, I get to handle it and admire the beautiful craftsmanship of the inlay on the receiver, as these are rarely seen in the store, especially in 28 gauge. This is the conversation that followed as we're filling out the paperwork. Me, wow, this is truly an amazingly exquisite shotgun. Customer, yeah, it's also the most expensive one you guys have available online at $2,500, but I didn't pay that. Me, really? Well, if you don't mind me asking, how much did you get for it? Customer, $1,250. Me, what? How did you manage that? Customer, well, I bought a cooler for $100 a few weeks ago and it wasn't big enough, so I tried to return it. However, your store's policy dictates that without a receipt, it can only be refunded for the lowest sale price in the last 30 days, which at one point was on sale for $70. I wasn't going to take that, so I talked to your manager. After 30 minutes of arguing, he was unwilling to make an accommodation and advised me to call the 1-800 customer service number. So I did. I had to wait on hold for more than 2 hours to talk to a rep, and after explaining what happened, I was offered a 50% off coupon on any one item online or in store. Now, I don't really need a new shotgun, but I found the most expensive one to use my coupon on just to stick it to your company for your manager's unwillingness to return the cooler for full price. Me, that's awesome. What did you do with the cooler? Customer, I returned it and happily accepted the $70. Oh, and if you see your manager, tell him I like to treat him to dinner because calling the 800 number was the best advice he could have given me. And this story is posted by u/Pam_ale. Woman versus mechanic. A couple years ago, my car trunk was badly dented after someone hit me from behind. He was texting and didn't realize I stopped at an intersection. Obviously, his insurance agreed to cover all damages. Brought my car, which was merely 4 months old, back to the original dealership for repairs. Important for later. The repair center is right next to a big lot where they stored the cars not on display. Fast forward a few weeks later, repairs were done and they called me to pick up the car. During inspection, to make sure everything was fixed, I discovered that the trunk lock latch was not working properly. I mentioned this to the mechanic that was inspecting my car with me, and I will never forget what he said to me. Quoting his exact words, he said, "Ma'am, with your 4 doors shut and all your windows up, it creates a pressure which makes it difficult to open your trunk door." I was speechless for a few seconds, then told him I may be clueless about cars, but that's not how my trunk door functioned prior to the accident. He kept trying to convince me I was wrong and that nothing was wrong with the latch, and I kept insisting that there was something wrong. The supervisor saw us arguing and came over to ask what's wrong. The mechanic explained to him that I refused to accept that nothing is wrong with the door latch. The supervisor then told me I can walk around the storage lot and open some of the trunks of the same model car as mine to feel that mine works the same. He then asked the mechanic to walk with me and added, "As a matter of fact, she can pop open every trunk." Malicious compliance ensues. Took a while, but I opened every trunk, and with each car, the mechanic would say, "See, same as yours," and I would reply with, "No." Needless to say, after our little adventure, the mechanic was getting quite impatient with me. We walked back to the supervisor, and the mechanic annoyingly explained that I was still not convinced. The supervisor then suggests that the mechanic take apart the lock and show me the working mechanism to prove everything is fine. From the surprised look on his face when I said yes, I believe he was expecting me to back down and just agree everything was fine. Well, with the locking mechanism exposed, the mechanic pressed the open button once and the latch moves like normal. He looks at me with a smug face. He tried it again to prove me wrong a second time, and behold, the latch jams. He tried again a third time and no movement. He had to jimmy it a bit in order to get it to function again. All of a sudden, he just walks off. Of course, I asked him where's he going. He turns and tells me he's going to order me a new lock. Being disgusted, I reply with, "But why do that when my 4 doors shut?" And before I can finish, he told me to please stop. He's already doing what needs to be done. I smugly smiled and kept my mouth shut. These were 4 great stories, so we definitely thank you for listening, and do us a huge favor, comment, like, share, and definitely subscribe for sure, so you'll be able to get more of the reminders for new videos that come out in the future. Have yourselves an incredible day. This has been TNA Top Notch Audio.